Okay, let's talk about Elon Musk's xAI. It's everywhere, right? It's one of the most talked about, most valuable, and yeah, most controversial companies on the entire planet. So the big question is its crazy fast rise a sign of pure genius, or is it a massive gamble with the future of AI itself? Well, today we're going to break it all down. Just look at this number, $200 billion. Let that sink in for a second. That was the reported valuation for xAI. I mean, it's a number it's hard to even wrap your head around, right? Especially for a company that's barely a year old. So that's the real question here, isn't it? How on earth does a company go from just an idea to one of the most valuable AI players in the world, practically overnight? Let's dig in and unpack this story. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to dive deep into the story of xAI. We'll look at the incredible promise, the stuff that fueled that insane valuation, but we're also going to look at the serious controversies that are raising a ton of red flags all over the tech world. So let's start at the beginning. What even is xAI? Well, at its core, it was founded with this really specific mission. According to Musk himself, the goal wasn't just to build some super powerful AI. No, it was about creating AI that's transparent, safe, and, ultimately a force for good in the world. Now, definitely keep that mission in mind, because it is absolutely central to the rest of this story. Okay, first up, let's look at the bull case, the optimistic side. What in the world do investors see in xAI that makes them want to pour billions, with a B, of dollars into it? Why value it higher than so many huge established tech companies? Well, it really all starts with the company's absolutely meteoric rise. I mean, the speed of xAI's growth is just staggering. Seriously, it was founded in March 2023. Just over a year later, bam, an $18 billion valuation. And then by July of the next year, it had just skyrocketed to that reported $200 billion figure. That kind of velocity is, well, it's pretty much unheard of. And we're not talking about a gradual climb here. This was a vertical leap, a more than tenfold increase in its valuation in just a little over a year. So the big question is, why? How? So how do they pull it off? Look, this isn't just hype. xAI has some major strategic advantages. For one, it's got access to that massive real-time fire hose of data from X, which, is basically a goldmine for training AI models. Then, they're building this monster supercomputer called Colossus with over 100,000 GPUs. And of course, you've got the backing of tough-tier VCs like Sequoia and Andreessen Horowitz, and the undeniable star power of Elon Musk himself. And this entire thing, this whole enterprise, it's all wrapped up in a really compelling mission. Remember that? The promise isn't just, hey, here's a smarter chatbot. It's about a safer, more ethical approach to AI. And that vision, that idea of balancing crazy innovation with real responsibility, that's a huge part of its appeal. It's what gets investors and the public excited. But the question is xAI actually living up to that promise? All right, now let's flip the coin over, because this is where the story gets, well, a lot more complicated. For all of its incredible promise, xAI has been surrounded by controversy pretty much from day one. Just listen to the words critics are using to describe xAI's approach to safety. Reckless, completely irresponsible. I mean, that is a shocking contrast to the official mission of building safe and transparent AI, isn't it? It really points to this huge disconnect between what the company says and what it apparently does. And this isn't just one or two isolated slip-ups. We're talking about a pattern that seems to be emerging. The company's main chatbot, Grok, has been caught generating some truly awful stuff. We're talking anti-Semitic comments and even praising Adolf Hitler. It was also right in the middle of a big election misinformation mess involving Vice President Harris. And on top of all that, there are reports from inside the company about employees being unhappy with tracking software, which just adds another layer to the whole thing. And this right here, this is the central paradox of xAI. It's kind of wild. On one hand, you've got Elon Musk out there publicly calling for more AI regulation, more safety. But on the other hand, his own company's flagship product seems to be operating with very few guardrails, creating the exact kind of problems he says he's worried about. So, where does that leave us? You've got this incredible financial hype on one side, and these really serious ethical questions on the other. So where does a company like xAI go from here? And maybe more importantly, where does it fit into the bigger picture of this whole AI race? Well, let's put that $200 billion valuation into perspective. They're still chasing the leader, OpenAI, which is sitting at a mind-boggling $500 billion. But, and this is a big but, xAI has already leapfrogged major players like Anthropic. So you gotta understand, this isn't just a race for second place. This is a battle to define the entire future of technology. Now here's a number for you. 4%. That's it. It's kind of a sobering reality check, but according to the AI Index report, that is the tiny, tiny fraction of AI investments that have actually paid off with significant returns. Think about that. That puts an incredible amount of pressure on companies like xAI to prove that they're more than just hype. You know, when you really get down to it, this story about xAI isn't just about one company. It's really a perfect example of the biggest challenge facing the entire tech industry right now. It's this question of how do you win the AI race without, breaking society in the process? We're walking a razor's edge here between incredible progress and real peril. And all of this brings us to one final, really important question. As companies like xAI push the boundaries of what's possible, and they do it at this unbelievable speed, we have to stop and ask ourselves, in this all-out race for AI dominance, what is the true price of moving this fast?